This is conga, this is Caribbean music, this is the drum that is accompanying the carnival here in Trinidad and Tobago. Hi, hello, I'm Gladys Quesada, your host, and this is Carnival Time, a show for Telesur, and we are touring all the venues where the carnival is going on.
It's a day of elegance and party. The Madamas del Callao, with their colorful outfit and jewelry, meet in the church to pay tribute to Isidora Agnes, the Black Isidora, badge of the Calypso and the Carnival, social fighter and defender of Calypso and El Callao, who managed to take it beyond its borders and make it known in Venezuela and the world. In 2023, a century of his birth was commemorated. Local and regional authorities also attend. It is one of the central activities of the carnival.
This mass is made in her honor, and we come from the year 86 when a thanksgiving was made praying for the health of Isidora, and from there it was patented since the year 1901, and we religiously follow the Lady's Mass. Every demonstration this time is in Isidora Agnes' honor. You saw that the song that is sung first every time is Isidora, because it is our representative icon.
After the Mass, the comparsa begins, the first major activity that traditionally marks the beginning of the carnival. They dance to the sound of the calypso with their typical costumes. They carry every accessory proudly: turbans, necklaces, scarves, and dresses. Madama comes from the French word derived from the origin of these people, with migrants from the Antilles, European, and many other locations, who arrived in search of gold from El Callao.
Madama significa dama, señora.
Madama means lady. It means lady, lady of the Callao. Coming from the Antilles, she brought us here. We were housekeepers, we were teachers, even in the culinary art, we were excellent cooks, and also really amazing teachers.
Professor Iraima Lopez, a researcher who helped prepare the Carnival Fly, which finally was recognized as heritage by UNESCO, points out that the role of the Madama is the driving axis of the carnival.
La Madama viste un traje, no viste un disfraz.
She wears a suit, not a costume, because the Madame take advantage of the carnival to wear her suit, which we cannot wear it every day because of the heat, the amount of fabric, and how expensive it is. It cannot be charged every day. It is safe for special occasions. Everything in that suit has a value and a specific story, starting with the turban, ending to the bottom. The Madama is the main axis, the presence, the female and valuable representation of the carnival, but also of the daily life of the people.
The Madamas are perhaps the most recognized characters of the holiday, are accompanied by devils, miners, half-painted blacks, and fantasies that enrich the most recognized carnival in the country.
Carnival keeps going on here in Trinidad and Tobago, and right now I'm at the Savannah's main stage where some groups, they are in traditional costumes, they are going to parade and they are going to compete. These are the colors of the carnival. We have been saying that, the iconic figures of these festivities. From here we are announcing another story of carnival. Let's see.
The Great Parade is a dance and musical folkloric act that shows the essence of the companies coming from several municipalities of the Department of the Atlántico, and whose performances show the African roots that nourish their dances.
We come with an African legacy, who are our ancestors. We should not lose the pattern that our ancestors taught us, such as the Danza de Negros, and that is why we are representing it today. We are a legacy representative of our ancestors.
Over 170 groups between comparsas, dances, and traditional companies take one of the main roads of Barranquilla to exalt the best of carnival music that is built through their instruments and shape the dances that go with it.
Viene de
This comes from our ancestors, the Africans, when they came with the Spaniards. They, in the evening, would gather after a hard day of working and communicate through the drums, but also they did it to lose stress and to rest. This is a combination of Afro-Caribbean and Spanish culture because this dress is inherited from the Spanish, these miller's flows are inherited from the indigenous people of America, and the drums that we have right now are inherited from the Africans. Then the union of these three races together is what leads to what we know as cumbia.
This carnival endured thanks to the generational heritage that keeps generations of families who have been empowered by their folkloric and cultural work. So it pays tribute 20 years after the declaration by UNESCO as intangible heritage of humanity.
Muy importante porque le da el relevo.
It is very important because it gives continuity. It gives the status to what is the carnival, a patrimonial carnival. People always ask me, I was there in the ratification, to ratify why UNESCO declared us intangible heritage of humanity.
These carnivals are enjoyed both by locals and visitors, who become multipliers of tradition where ancestral dances such as cumbias, congos, mampolé, gorobatos, son de negro, and other dances become a vital component of this heritage festival.
This is the traditional music for Trinidad and Tobago and the traditional customs of the carnival. Every one of them is representing one of the many points of this culture and give homage to everything that is happening here in the flora, fauna, and the country. From here, we're also announcing other story of carnival. Let's go now to Uruguay. There is another of the stories of these festivities.
The Montevideo Llamada Parade is the most representative festival of Candombe and Afro-Uruguayan culture. Every year, thousands of people approach Isla de Flores Street, the southern neighborhoods, and Palermo to enjoy a unique party that emerged influenced by the different African rhythms introduced by the slaves who arrived from Africa in the 18th century.
Llamadas in Uruguay is the most important popular event in the country. Candombe is culture, tradition, history, much ancestry. Many of us candomberos lived by the candombe and respect it as a way of living.
The thousands of attendees were thrilled with a party that lasted 5 hours and where 22 comparsas played and almost 2,500 artists paraded.
Perdí la cédula y
I lost my car and I go out of Las Llamadas, but today I'm happy. I'm happy but sore, because the nicest thing there are Las Llamadas. It is part of culture, and really today I spent a bitter day. But I'm happy just the same because I feel the drums on my skin because it's part of that culture.
¿Te siente?
You feel it. Your skin stand up. The drums. I live in this neighborhood since I was born. In, for example, what was Dominguera, which already today does not go out, the comparsa, missing the school, but on Sunday, the drums always there. Candombe is magic, love, color. It's everything. You have to feel it to live it. It's imposing, it's beautiful.
Under very hot weather and just after 8 o'clock at night, the African Candonga comparsa started the parade. The drums began to ring and the dance completed the party.
Waiting all year for this moment that for us is the best. Culture, a feeling, everything. From a girl, always, always. It's the party of people of African descendants, the most beautiful party of blacks, whites, lobos, everything. I love llamadas. You don't know what it is, what it feels like. They have to come and enjoy it. It's feeling, it's having to be and feel, nothing more. Let's go to Lancerivo, which is undoubtedly the best comparsa. We will bring the first prize home.
The second part of Llamada Parade was postponed by a rain threat, but will continue in the coming hours. When this happens, Montevideo will be a party again. The candombe and the drums will sound strong, and the magic of the Afro-Uruguayan culture will be present as it has been for 300 years.
we continue witnessing the Marvel Carnival of Trinidad and Tobago. In this occasion, I'm with some of the characters of this parade, this carnival, of the iconic figures of the culture and folklore. All of this, everything that you see, is made by crochet. So this is one of the artistries of the carnival. From here, I'm announcing other story. Now let's go to see one of my colleagues that has something else to say.
It's Carnival, and in Arasoaiba, a small town in Pernambuco's sugarcane region, spear-wielding mythical figures called caboclos de lança don their costumes. Each part of their outfits has symbolic meaning. They receive blessings and enter a trance-like state, dancing down the streets as locals hand them money and invite them into their homes for food and drink.
The caboclo de lanza, from what I understand, comes from indigenous culture. It has been passed down from grandfathers to sons, and we are keeping the tradition alive.
For 400 years, Pernambuco has been home to some of the world's largest sugarcane plantations and a site of brutal oppression of field laborers. In the 1800s, plantation workers blended West African and indigenous religious traditions and created maracatu. Despite over a century of attempts to destroy it, first by Catholic politicians and more recently by right-wing evangelical preachers who erroneously associate it with the devil, it's still here.
It's a culture we love. Only people who like it and respect it join in. And I don't know, but it's such a great feeling. It's the happiest day in the world for me. When I arrive here to play, I have my friends who play with me. It's warm, it's emotional to see everyone together, and I think that is what life is all about.
Brian Mir, Telesur, Pernambuco.
The artists are still coming up to the main stage. Also, they are performing, and the judges are qualifying them based on the originality, the color, the costumes, and also the fulfillment of tradition. This is what is going on in the main event in this morning of Carnival here in Trinidad and Tobago. But for now, we're going to other point of the geography of Latin American countries to see what is going on there with their own carnival. Let's see.
After a year of secret rehearsals to confound the competition, hours of costumes, choreography, and jealous preparation, the steel pan bands finally arrive at the central stage of Savannah's Park, where they have their special night at the carnival. They arrive in order with a calmness that hides the revelry and energy they then display on stage.
The panorama here is one of the greatest shows ever. I mean, you see so much talent, from players to arrangers to event planners, organizers. This is easily one of the greatest shows ever anywhere in the world, and I'm happy to be here for another year. Here in Trinidad, Carnival is big. It's huge. I mean, millions of people come from all over, and what is great about it is so much blending of cultures, people from.
The steel pan is a very important part of the carnival culture, and it's good to preserve it because music is a big part of carnival. If you go to the Carnival riots and you look at the history of carnival, along the way pan was invented, our national instrument, and we incorporated it into the carnival season, and it is a prominent part. It's a great part of the season.
This spectacle of culture and splendor will not have been possible centuries ago. In the 18th century, the English slavers forbade the use of any kind of percussion for fear of the rebellious code communicated by the African drums, but the story goes that no one can change the music. The slaves found in the frying pans the pan, another way to break the silence. Today, it is a source of local and regional pride.
Band is very important because it encourages youth to steer in a positive direction. They always look at youth in a particular light, and steel band kind of shines and give them the opportunity to express themselves positively and give them a platform.
According to the indentations, the thickness of the metal or the intensity of the touch, each barrel emits a different note. For this reason, they are classified as the tones of the voice. Today, in the middle of 2024, the steel pan is the national instrument. The island teaches every detail of its manufacture and interpretation with its own professorship. Schools and pawn yards also abound, popular spaces that unite the community around music and have a profound social impact.
It's very positive. It helps the crime rate and all those stuff because I came from a very dangerous area and pan saved me a lot, you know. Sometimes you're walking home and something bad might happen, but because you're in pan, it might end up blocking you from wherever it could happen. So I believe it's actually positive to do an extra activity outside of school.
The steel bands are not only focused on interpreting the soca and calypso of the moment, they also interpret their own pieces which take months to compose. They are then a black and popular symphony of the rebellion, the resistance, and the Caribbean identity. For Telesur English, from Trinidad and Tobago as Special Envoy, Gladys Quesada.
And with this rejoice of Carnival, we're saying goodbye to Carnival Times, but only for now, because we are still covering all that is happening here and in other parts of our continent and our Caribbean. Also, I'm Gladys Quesada. Follow us in our socials. We are bidding farewell from Telesur English. Stay with Telesur and stay with us in other emissions.